Hello everybody, I'm Ilia, Laporev, cellist, and this is episode 5 from the series Feuillard Studies for the Young Cellist. In today's episode we're gonna cover study number 5, which is a study for the ternary rhythm, but we're gonna check this afterwards, after I play this whole through. Before we continue with this video, as usual, if you like this content, if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing, and if you want to see more, don't forget to like, to comment, to subscribe in order to support this channel. Thank you very much, and let's go into it. So we played this whole exercise through the number 5. So first of all, as in the other videos, we should always look up what is written up in the exercise. Not in every exercise there is something written, but here in this case there is something written, which is written study for the ternary rhythm. Ternary rhythm, if you look at the score, by the way, if you don't have the score, link in description down in the video. You can get access to the book by contacting me. So, ternary rhythm, as you see in the score, it's 3/4, which is ternary, right? So this exercise is about this, but also discovering it, playing a few times, giving it to my students. I see there are a couple of things, that we can pay attention and improve our cello technique with this exercise. What is the first thing that I want to tell you here? It's the bow distribution. Again, like in the previous video, if you missed it, you can click right here. I'm talking about the bow distribution. But I'm gonna repeat a little bit again. So the bow distribution is this. So again, as you saw, while I was playing, I was using whole bow. Everything, I was using the whole length of the bow. Why is that? Because on the score it's written G, the letter G, right? We see it's written over there. What does that mean, letter G? It comes from German. G comes from ganzer Bogen. Ganzer Bogen means whole bow in German. So that's the exercise of us. So we play everything, absolutely everything, we use the whole bow. What is important when you use the whole bow? When we use the whole bow, we need to be feeling really relaxed in our right arm. So we cannot be stiff. Let me show you an example. Stiff, right? And so on. You saw how my arm was, I was putting a lot of pressure in my fingers and my wrist, and my elbow was a little bit high. So that's not the point. What do I mean with relaxing instead of being stiff? It's this, check it out. So another exercise that you can do is you take, so with your left hand, the top of the bow, and you start to push both ways. So the right hand pushes and the left hand pushes. So you push a little bit, be careful not doing strong, because if you do strong you can break the bow. So just a little bit, just to feel. You see how my index finger is going. Check it out again. Like that. See? And now we do the opposite way. We pull. So we go that direction with the right hand, and we go that direction with the left hand. So you see the movement, how it goes. Not the left hand, right hand. Pay attention here. Just like this. Now we push again, and we pull. So why is that for? So as you notice, when we start on the frog, we sit on the pink. Of course, not sitting like that, this is wrong, but a little bit, in order to give a deep sound. See, because if you're gonna do like this, it's gonna be like that. We want one. We don't want And now, see how our index finger goes. See how it goes, the difference. So here, and bit by bit. So this is a great exercise that you can do. This pushing, pulling, pushing, pull, just to feel it. Anyways, so going back to the bow distribution here. So what is the point here? When you have the separate notes, so in this case the first notes of each bar, at least in the first two lines, so this, as you see the difference, the first note goes quite quick, so, and then slower. So what is the trick here? It's easy, you know, to be stiff here, so again, you're not using the GG, which means ganzer Bogen, which means the whole length of the bow. So relax, really relax, like hold it firmly. You should hold it firmly. No, not too relaxed, because or else you don't have control at all. So hold it firmly and just sit a little bit on your hand and release. Release and help with your arm. So let me see if I can put it like this. Check it out. So it goes like that. So be careful not to do these kind of movements. Don't use the whole thing. It's just open up. It's like when you swim. You're opening, right? So the same feeling goes here for that first note, in order to do that quick, light, but still profound with a nice, beautiful sound. And of course with all the hair of the bow. So we do this a few times in order to feel it. You can even do the same movement as I'm doing to finish quite solistic. Okay, fine. After a couple of times, when you've done that, when you're mastering this, then we can try to do, but continue. Actually the biggest danger in this exercise. It's that particular first note, or the note that is separated, that goes quicker, so pay attention to that. Then afterwards you're gonna see that it's gonna be opposite. So we have the first notes in the first bars, you know, the fast one, But then we have on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth bar of the first line. So here it's opposite. So see, it's a cool exercise because there are variations. It's not the whole time the same thing. So Feuillard really plays with it. So this is good because you develop that thing down bow but the same up bow. So here we go with the up bow. Same thing, same principle as with the down. So check it out again if you forgot already. Sit, release. Now, the same thing. So why I do this exercise of pulling and pushing, so that you can feel, this is for the up bow, that thing. So you sit a little bit, you put a little of pressure and release. Again, one more. See? So here we are. This one. And for these longer notes, be careful that you don't use the whole bow immediately. So like this. No. We save bow in the beginning. And then we have more space, you know, in order to make a nice sound. So like that. You see, so that is bow distribution. So that you save well in the beginning in order to have more space, to make a nicer sound and a nice connection with the up bow. So that is bow distribution. Bow distribution can be also, you know, calculating very well. But that's a little bit more complicated because I think you need to think more. But for me, the simple thing is that don't use too much bow in the beginning. So use a little bit of bow in order to have more space afterwards. So the sound doesn't get stuck or stiff or blocked. So it gets free. That's the point. That's about bow distribution. Okay, so actually this exercise, that was the most important thing I wanted to talk about here. So it's not going to be a long video, no worries. But still there is one thing that many of us they can struggle with, and this is with intonation. So again, I'm going to explain you quickly and show you a way how you can practice intonation and improve your intonation as well, and also to clean up your ears in case if there is something inside your ears, because your ears need to be on 200% to hear everything. So here we are at the beginning. Let's say that the first bar I'm going to play out of tune, which would be like that. So see, how do I solve this? First of all, you need to hear. You need to be able to hear that. If you're not able to hear that, well, then I think you might have a little problem, but most of us, they will hear when something is wrong. So let's say I play this note. But how do I fix that? Check it out with another string as a reference. For instance, the D string. See? So what do we do now? Well, simple. We adjust. Maybe a little bit lower. Too low. This is getting better. Or you can just take the open string. Too low, too high, sorry. So see, you need to adjust. So it's very important that your ears are 200% open. Let's say the second bar is wrong. It's terrible, right? So this is the open string. So you can either practice with another open string in order to have a reference, or you can practice with double stops, which is good also. But the most important is that you practice everything in piano. So it means softly. Softly, because if you play everything, you're not going to hear anything. It's just getting worse, and it's just another bad habit that will get worse. So everything in piano. That's a golden rule that you need to follow. So everything in piano. And then it continues for the rest also. So whenever you have a false note, let's say second line, first bar, it's out of tune. This is the open string, reference. Okay, let's try again. Too high. Okay, this is a D, right? Supposed to be a D. Let's take another D string. So then this is a little bit an annoying kind of work to do. But just be patient. This is in the beginning like this. Because afterwards, when you really practice this and very seriously, when you take this seriously, you're not going to have trouble afterwards, after a while. Then everything goes automatically. But the most important is that in the beginning, you really put your focus in this kind of work. Because if you continue to play out of tune and you are not hearing anything, then this is your habit. You're gonna hear it like this, and it's gonna be out of tune. I'm sorry to say this, but then when somebody's gonna play, when you're gonna play for somebody, that somebody's gonna say, "Aye, but it's out of tune," but you're not going to hear it. You're gonna think, "Oh, really? Yeah, it's because it's a bad habit that you continue to develop." So really, be careful. It's never too late. So start right now. Start right now with this kind of work, and then you're gonna do fine after a while. Sometimes it can take weeks, months, even years. Sometimes depends how long you were in this bad habit, but it's possible to fix. It's just time to do it now. You need to start right now to do this in order to get rid of these bad habits as soon as possible, which we all want, right? We don't want to have bad habits, neither in life and neither on our cello playing. So this is important. And of course, lastly, again, as in the other videos I'm talking and as I'm approaching everything very musically, let's try to, take a nice sound, enjoy it, so a full, profound sound. So let's not just play a stupid exercise. No, let's make this a little bit more excited, right? So. Good, to make a nice sound, which will help, and we will have progress in our sound as well if we try to approach this way. So actually, this is it. This is all about this exercise. It's a short exercise. It's not too complicated. Just pay attention about the bow distribution thing that I tell. And okay, for those that have problem with intonation, yeah, take a look about that. But a trick, to help your intonation be more precise is to use articulation. But again, you can see this in the previous episodes of my series of the Feuillard, where I explain about articulation, and it's gonna help you a lot. And okay, before I will finish with this video, there's one last thing that I need to mention. I know that many of you are beginners, children that just started with the cello, or even adults that because of the quarantine, because of the isolation process that we all have to stay home, decide to learn the cello, which fantastic, I love it. I love when people come to me saying like, I decided to learn the cello because I have lots of spare time, and great, excellent. I'm really proud of you guys and keep going. So anyway, for those that have difficulties to playing the tempo I was playing, no problem, you can do it much slower. So really you can take your time, always take a tempo that is comfortable for you. So don't go too rushy, take your time. We have nowhere to rush, we're anyway staying at home, we have all the time to practice, we have all the time to play, we have all the time to discover, so really no rush. Take the tempo that you feel comfortable with. And with this, guys, I finished today's lesson. Very short lesson, you guys are spared. But the next one, the number 6, is gonna be a nice one, and it's gonna be a longer video. So, because there I'm gonna have some things to say, and I think we have some variations on the number 6, but that's gonna be in a couple of days. And also, in a couple of days, I have decided I'm gonna cover also the whole Piatti method, so which is great for children, for adult beginners, for everybody who wants to start cello, so from young until old. These are great pieces, and I have already pre-recorded videos of mine where I'm playing the cello part 2, because if you're gonna see the score of the Piatti, you're gonna see the pieces, the songs are for 2 cellos. So what is nicer, you know? There's nothing nicer to play along with somebody. So I have discovered for you already the cello part 2 for those pieces. So you can check it out in the near future, the second cello part played by me. So you can play together with me. So which is gonna be more fun. It's better than to play alone, I agree. Anyways, so with this I finish for today, and I thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. Let's continue to crush on the cello technique in order to play better. Alright? See you in a couple of days. Bye. Cheers.